Attention everybody, this is the Captain speaking and welcome to my channel, The New Traveling Critic. I'm your host, Kapitan Konopis, and today you're finding me at the Evgenios Spatharis Shadow Puppet Theatre Museum in Maroussi, northern suburbs Athens. And today I have with me Mrs. Spathari, Menya, Mrs. Menya Spathari, who is the daughter of shadow puppet theater player Evgenios Spatharis, who lived from 1924 until 2009. As a matter of fact, I grew up with puppet shadow theater with Karagiozis and everything. So Mrs. Spathari told me she's going to speak in Greek and I'm going to translate, or she's going to speak in English whenever she feels comfortable. So we're going to make a mix, whatever. Anyway, so we were thinking of how to begin the whole story because there's such a lot of things to tell about the shadow puppet theater, where it began, and then the story of Mr. Spatharis himself and the legacy he has left behind, and also about the figures of Karagiozis and the other heroes of the shadow puppet theater that are still marking children's memories until today, and also whether the story of Karagiozis is true or not. So, Mrs. Spathari, thank you so much for your time and for being on our channel. And
thank you very much.
Okay, and so the first thing, we're gonna start in Greek, and I'm gonna translate. So I'm going to be talking in two languages today, but never mind. So anyway, the first thing we're going to talk about is how shadow puppet theater began, because as far as I read found artificial intelligence telling me today that it started in China and India around the 11th century BC. Is that right? I think.
Yes.
Okay. So around the 11th century BC. And it still is very popular even in Arabic countries today, also in Turkey, and also in Malaysia and Indonesia and many, many other countries. Shadow puppet theater is a little bit unknown for in the Northwestern culture, but here in the South and in the East, it is a very, very popular thing. And so, Mrs. Spathari, so I'm going to start speaking in Greek now. Ήθελα να σας ρωτήσω, ο πατέρας σας είχε ξεκινήσει, just a minute. Sorry, I had a fly actually bugging my ear. Nevertheless, so I'm going to let Mrs. Spathari talk herself about the legacy her father has left behind, and especially about this gigantic work he had done with the hero Karagiozis, because he made a huge epos about the Odyssey, which I was watching as a child. And so I'm going to let her talk about Evgenios Spatharis, her father, and about the legacy he has left behind. The word is yours, Mr. Spathari. Ο λόγος είναι δικός σας.
Λοιπόν, καταρχήν ο μπαμπάς ξεκίνησε την καριέρα του εδώ στο Μαρούσι. Αν και γεννήθηκε στην Κηφισιά.
Okay, her father started his career in here in Maroussi, although he was born in Kifissia. I've been showing many times places in Kifissia, so you, the viewers, are familiar with the area. And also we should notice something she's going to be telling me probably afterwards, or she told me before we started this episode, that his father, ο παππούς ήταν, ο πατέρας του πατέρας σας ήταν από το Σαντορίνι, έτσι. That her father's father, her grandfather, was from Santorini. And then they came to Metaxourgio, which is in central Athens, and then Mr. Spatharis was born in Kifissia.
Yes.
Παρακαλώ.
My grandfather didn't want...
Sorry?
My grandfather, Sotiris Spatharis, he was also shadow player. But he didn't like to follow his art, my father, because the years then were very difficult, and he wanted my father to go to the university, you know. But all this was during the German occupation. So. When my grandfather was sick with his neck, necessarily my father has to αντικαταστήσει
he had to replace.
Bravo. Sorry, because I don't remember.
Okay, it's perfectly fine. We're talking two languages, whatever suits you.
Okay. So my father started his career when he replaced
Your grandfather.
my grandfather. He was 12 years old. His first dream was to study, my father. Also, architecture, as architecture. But difficult years, my grandfather sick, so he started his career.
He took over.
And he became shadow player.
Okay.
But he was always a painter and naive.
Sorry?
You know? Naive. Painter,
okay.
naive. Πώς το λέμε, λαϊκός ζωγράφος.
Naive painter, yeah.
Naive painter.
Actually, there was also another naive painter whose house is also very near here in Maroussi, and that was Yannis Tsarouchis. Maybe we are going to make an episode at the Yannis Tsarouchis Museum too.
Sure, because you know, Yannis Tsarouchis married my father and my grandmother, my mother and my father.
Sorry? I didn't
Ήταν κουμπάρος.
Oh. So Yannis Tsarouchis actually was the best man of her parents. Okay, this is interesting. So we have to go to see the Yannis Tsarouchis Museum next month. So anyway, okay.
He was crazy about Karagiosis, Yannis Tsarouchis.
Okay.
And he was very influenced.
By
Karagiosis.
Okay, so to mention this, Karagiosis is actually the main hero in Evgenios Spatharis Shadow Puppet Theater Museum, and we're going to show a couple of figures afterwards and explain what everybody represents. Because, for instance, the Nyonios, who is from Zakynthos, the cousin Nyonios, is the rich guy. Morphonios is the ugly guy.
No,
and we're having...
he's not the rich guy.
He's not the rich...
No. Pseudo-aristocratis.
Okay, he's a pseudo-aristocrat anyway. And it is very funny, the characteristic phrase that Karagiosis used to say whenever the story began was "Θα φάμε, θα πιούμε και νηστικοί θα κοιμηθούμε." Something happened here, just a minute. So the phrase that Karagiosis used to say was "Θα φάμε, θα πιούμε και νηστικοί θα κοιμηθούμε." We're going to drink, we're going to eat, and we're going to go to bed with empty stomach. And
why that?
What?
Why that? What do you think? Why Karagiosis say that?
Well, because he... The story was the following. Yeah, okay. The story was the following. Actually, he was poor, and he was always stealing, and he had to feed his 3 children and his wife. And so there was always his friend Spatharis. He came with a message that they're looking for a teacher, they're looking for whatever, and then he goes there without having any peculiar knowledge of the business. And then at the end, there are coming Mariah's figures who are coming as clients, and then his uncle Barbayorgis is coming, and he figures it out, and then he's getting kicked a lot, and then he goes to bed with an empty stomach. So, which is why Karagiosis is also the public hero of the poor, let's say, the favorite hero of the poor. And
he's clever.
And very clever, yes. And as a matter of fact, we were talking about before that there is a story whether Karagiosis was a real person or not, and you told me that it's actually a myth.
We don't have something written, a document.
Okay, so we have no document. Actually,
for me, it's maybe a myth, maybe a fairy tale, something.
Well, anyway, the myth, however, goes the following, because there are 2 figures in Turkey at a tree, actually, that are hanging, and this is the figure of Karagiosis, and the other one Khazaivatis. And the story is as follows: that under Turkish occupation, Karagiosis and his friend Khazaivatis were architects, and I think the Pasha didn't like the way...
No, it was before Turkish occupation.
Oh, it was before Turkish.
This myth.
Yeah.
It's in Prusa.
In Prusa.
Bursa. And they sent that he was a sultan named Orhan who would like to build a big jami,
a big mosque.
And Hadjiavatis, as an architect, he took the order, let's say, from the Pasha, the Sultan, to build, to find many ergates,
many workers.
Many workers. Between them
were Karagiozis.
Was Karagiozis. But Karagiozis was too funny. He was so funny that everybody was laughing, and nobody wanted to build the mosque.
The mosque with him, yeah.
So the Sultan, the Pasha, as my grandfather was saying, because, parentheses, my grandfather was the first who wrote this myth.
Oh, I see. About Karagiozis.
To his memories.
Oh, okay.
His book.
Okay.
And everybody, after him, everybody was trying to find the truth, from studies, from professors of the university, try to find which was true and what was a myth.
Okay.
But they didn't find everything.
Okay.
Only that. Then with the Sultan Orhan, I told you, let's say that was a document.
Okay.
But we don't know.
Well, the story is in the end they were hanged, both Karagiozis and
yes.
And Hadjiavatis.
But then the Pasha μετάνιωσε.
He regretted, yeah.
No, he regretted because he couldn't smile. He couldn't even laugh.
Oh, I see.
So he said to Hadjiavatis, "Please, Hadjiavatis, make me laugh." And then Hadjiavatis took, let's say, a screen. He made the two figures, the two shadows, Hadjiavatis and Karagiozis, and he was repeating the jokes of Karagiozis.
Oh, I see.
So the Pasha laughed and he went well.
Okay.
He became well.
So Hadjiavatis survived, but Karagiozis did not, according to the myth.
No.
Okay. Yes, she said yes. So we're going to go through a couple of figures now because we have already 11 minutes.
I'd like to say something very important about the Greek shadow theater.
Yeah.
The shadow theater represents the Greek society.
Okay.
As you said before, the poor man, the rich man, the clever,
the ugly one.
They are human beings.
Yeah.
Human characters. Nobody is perfect. Only God.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. First, from Karagiozis, we are learning, let's say, our traditional Greek music.
Okay.
Παραδοσιακούς χορούς.
Okay. Traditional dances and everything. As a matter of fact, the
songs, the areas, as you said, Nyonios from Zakynthos, Ionian Islands. Okay, the man from Crete, the Greek island, the man from Kolonaki, the center of Athens.
Some figures actually that had been added later, because when I grew up with Karagiozis, for instance, people like Stavrakas, or for instance the Jewish guy, the Solomos, they weren't. I mean, the ones that I knew when I was watching Karagiozis was Karagiozis, Hadjiavatis, Barbagiorgis, Morphonios, and Nyonios. So those were the main figures. The other ones, I don't know whether they came later or what.
Look, I have to show you.
Okay.
I have to show
and we're gonna go through the figures, and we're gonna be explaining because we have already 15 minutes, almost 15 minutes on our channel. So let's go and guide you a little bit through these Spatharis shadow figures. Okay, let's go quick. We're not gonna show everything, of course. And so this one is Morphonios. This one is Morphonios, and he is the ugly guy. He is the one who always comes very often as a bridegroom, and Karagiozis is afraid of him. And whenever Karagiosis teases him, he says, which means I'm going to tell my mother.
A character of Mamakias.
A character of Mamakias. He's the mama boy.
Mama boy.
Okay. This year up here.
We have to go there.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let's go to those figures
That's
here.
better because these are
sorry?
not the figures.
Okay.
The figures, the characteristics.
Okay, we're gonna show.
Here is the history because you asked me before about the figures. Solomon. Look, here we have many characters of Karagiosis. The first Karagiosis who came from Constantinople with Giannis Mavromatis. This is his figure.
Okay.
About 1840, τώρα το λέω γρήγορα.
1840, 740.
And after him, Mimaros was the first teacher, master of Greek Karagiosis.
Okay.
When Karagiosis came in Greece, he had many bad words.
Oh, okay. He was
very bad.
Yeah, okay. He was using bad words. So,
like in Turkey.
Okay.
Mimaros made Karagiosis Greek theater from all the family.
Okay.
From children, and he put the first son of Karagiosis, Kolitiris.
Okay.
Then Mimaros, he had three assistants, let's say students. Okay. Roulias, Memos, Thodorelos.
Roulias is 4, Memos is 5, and Thodorelos is 6.
Yes.
Okay, because I don't want to take too much of your time, we're not going to be showing everything because I want people to come and see the shadow, the museum. So we're going to show everything. We're going to make a very quick survey. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So
I like to from Thodorelos came my grandfather, Sotiris Spatharis.
Okay.
All these players. Depending on the area when they were born, they put a shadow on the screen.
Okay.
For example, Solomos, as you said, from Thessaloniki.
Okay.
The Jewish.
Solomos is the Jewish guy. He's number 11.
He was from Thessaloniki, the shadow player who put him on the screen.
Okay. 9 is Stavrakas.
Stavrakas from Piraeus.
He's the tough guy. Here, this is Evgenios that we mentioned before. And occasionally we have also some heroes actually appearing in Shadow Puppet Theater. I mean, I know that Karagiosis has met Alexander the Great in one of his plays.
He's the most famous in Greek...
Sorry?
He's the most famous, popular, let's say, play.
Okay.
Play.
And
especially
okay. So
we have to say that the first material the shadow players used was the cupboard, the boxes.
Okay.
That's
okay.
So the second here is
we're having
Kauskin.
We're having Chatzaivatis, and here is Karagiosis.
Here, Chatzaivatis, Karagiosis. These are made. These are from cowskin, the figures.
From cowskin, okay. Okay. And
again.
You see, for instance, he has even met Hercules here. So there is all kinds of figures that. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Odyssey because your father had made a fantastic work. He had shown the Odyssey with Karagiosis as the main hero, as a companion to Ulysses. And the interesting fact is that there was a lot of singing in that. I mean, TV has shown it, and you also can find it on YouTube. And the interesting thing is that he had given...
all the episodes.
You can find all the episodes. And he had...
except one.
He had given the voice of various heroes in the Odyssey. For instance, Circe was interpreted by Dimitra Galani, Aeolos, was interpreted by Yorgos Dalaras. Both of them were at the beginning at the time in the 1970s, who are both of them very, very big singers today. And he had been doing an amazing work with the Odyssey.
It was not on the Odyssey. It was Hercules.
Sorry? Okay.
Hercules, the hero.
Yeah.
With the same...
Okay, I didn't know about her. I didn't know that he also made Hercules. Unfortunately, the light is falling on the screens and I cannot show very well, but okay, this looks better. So anyway, we are almost 20 minutes, and I really don't want to.
Okay, here is Odyssey. You love.
Sorry?
You grow up.
Sorry? Here's the Odyssey.
Odyssey, yes.
Okay. So.
And here Theseus and Minotaurus.
And here is Theseus and the Minotaur. I think.
Only because of Aristophanes.
Okay. He has made a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Now we have already 20 minutes, and I really don't want to exploit more of your precious time. So the last thing that I would like to ask you is, from when until when has the museum opened? Because this is the most important part. Exactly. So.
But we inaugurate museum 1995.
Sorry?
1995.
Oh, it opened in 1995. It opened in 1995. And it was closer to the metro station, to Maroussi. Now it's a little bit more far away, but still it's very near to the station
Maroussi.
Spatharis in Melision, with a bus. So you can either take the A11 or the 550 from Kifisia, and you're getting down here. So, and it has opened in 1995. It moved to here, to the new location.
It was
2011. And the opening hours and opening days are, and what is the admission? This is the most important thing to ask.
Yes, from Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning until
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Monday to Friday, you said?
Yes.
Okay. And the admission is how much for adults and children?
Free.
It's
entrance free.
Okay. It's free. So I don't want to say more, because I want to, I hope I have intrigued your curiosity, and whoever wants to come and see the Spatharis museum and the shadow puppets, it's really amazing work. Also, something I wanted to...
We have our web.
Sorry?
We have also our web.
Yeah, they have also a web.
Museum.gr.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the book, so everybody, we have a special...
Okay, and I will write as a comment below the website, so that you can search on the website. Okay. And I also wanted to say, there are also figures, for instance, from the First World War. I'm not showing them.
The Greek Revolution.
From the Second World War, actually. From the Greek Revolution, Kolokotronis, and other people. And I also saw that you had some politicians back here.
Yes, it's a satire.
It's a satire. So actually, as you can understand, there is a lot to watch here at the Evgenios Spatharis Museum. So, Mrs. Spatharis, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay. That was a long interview. It was almost well, that is almost ready for TV, I can say. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. That was all for today. Our next encounter is scheduled to be tomorrow at the play by Mr. Yannis Romanos, called The Story of the Fat Lady from the 8th Floor. And until then, stay well and goodbye.